absorb all this great stuff, and then kind of like a soda pop, you know, when it fizzes all around, you're like, oh, I'm so excited, this was awesome, I had so much fun, and then 3 weeks go by, and you're like, wait, what was that again? Right? You're looking for your notes. Ever been there? Okay, right? So my hope for you today is whatever you digest, and that's why I wanted your computers away, whatever you take with you is what you're meant to cellularly hold and apply and implement. Because today is not just about awareness, it's about action, and how do you step into that to make change happen. Okay? So, how many of you thought, or how many of you knew I was coming today, besides the people who invited me? Okay. Do you have any idea what I was coming here for? Did you think, how many of you heard soft skills? You've never heard the word soft skills? Yeah. What's the first thing you think of when you think of soft skills?
People person.
People person. What else? Come on, guys. I'm going to call on your name. I promise you I will. If you're lucky, come on. People skills. What else? Say that again. Darrell? What do you think of when you What do you think of when you think of soft skills? Go ahead.
It has nothing to do with anything you would expect, but I don't know, someone that gives a massage. I don't know.
Someone that you hang out with him, you get massages. Soft skills. You ever hear that phrase, especially in your industry, and go, okay, I get it. I got stuff to do. All right? That's all that fluffy stuff. Oh, do we get along? Do you like me? Do I like you? You know, do I like my job? You know, all those things that people think of when they think of fluffy and they think of soft. And I want to kind of put that to rest here, because soft skills, here what we're going to be talking about today, is about building that communication. The bottom line in any organization, any group, any team that you're working with, what do you ideally need is the ability to connect and communicate with each other and understand what is needed, right? That's how we increase productivity. Agree or disagree? If you don't know that piece, what if you say, I've had a lot of people, I speak a lot into the IT space and PM space, and I hear a lot of them say, you know what, I don't directly work with people, so it doesn't matter to me. How many of you here directly work with people? Raise your hand nice and high. How many of you work just with your best friend computer? How many of you work all by yourself? I see. What do you work with? You keep shaking your head no. What do you work with? Right here.
Oh, no, yeah, I work with people.
Oh, you work with people?
Yeah.
Okay, you work with people. So when we think about if we work with people, what do we need to build and develop? I want today for you to walk away with knowing how are we actually going to build these soft skills, right? The ability to connect and understand and empathize, and we're going to talk about that today through emotional intelligence as well as through the triangle. So real quick, I love this image because it reminds me, I mean, this feels as though, honestly, I know just in the last, what is it, we're 2018? Just in the 90s, how many of you were, I was in post-college in the 90s. I was working in the 90s, and I remember not even having a phone, right? If you had a phone, you were really super cool. I remember one being this big and in the car, and I would grab my phone, I'm like, I have a phone, right? And now, can you imagine living without your phone? Okay, if you were to forget your phone or your wallet at home, how many of you would go back, if you only had a choice to pick one, would go back for your wallet? How many would go back for your phone? Why?
A wallet
on the phone.
You have your wallet on your phone. So as we advance forward, technology has developed in such a way where our communication style has changed, right? It's shifted completely. We either join it or what? What happens? What happens, IT people? What happens? We're left out, right? We have a lot of people who are struggling with that as well. But today, communication isn't just by phone. What are some other forms of communication? Chat. Oh my gosh, I hear a lot of text. Slack. I don't even know what that is. Cool. Email. Snapchat. Tinder. We have all these other. You're setting me up. What's your name? Ryan?
He's the one you went to go on.
Okay, so we have all these methods of communication, right? Nowadays, how easy is it though? Because communication is so abundant. Is it to mess up interpretation? How many of you in here have ever received a text from your significant other of any sort and looked at it and went, really? Did they really say that? No, they didn't. Like, oh, I can't believe they said it like that. Raise your hand if you ever been on that end? Yeah. So what happens when it's in print or text? The communication can get what? Disconnected, right? We can interpret it with whatever our own baggage is. How often, I always give this very simple example. Bless my husband, he's been a part of a lot of these talks lately, because he's amazing, but he's totally opposite of me, right? It makes sense. We get on each other's nerves otherwise. He walks in the house, he sees me just kind of like concerned. I have a 5-year-old who makes me very tired, and she's amazing at the same time. And he comes in and he goes, baby, what's wrong? Right? Because he sees this look of like fatigue in my body. And all of a sudden, I have no idea why. Don't judge me, guys out there. And I went like, what do you mean, what's wrong? What do you mean by that? Have you ever had someone lash out at you and say that to you? I know that's true, right? So I tell him, he goes, oh my God, I didn't mean anything by it, right? And I see a lot of smiles on your face because you've been there. And what I tell him, my job is to teach him and say, sweetie, I know what you meant to say is, but let me help you for a second. Because of where I'm at, the baggage that I carry, when you say that, it makes me think, what do you mean, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me. He goes, seriously? Like, I can't win here. So I say to him, here's how you can reposition it, and that's what we're going to talk about today, right? You can say, hey, honey, how are you? Ask a question, right? Because when you ask a question, you remove the space of assumption, right? Now, whether it makes sense to him or not is irrelevant because I'm the receiver. In communication, you all have senders and receivers of message. You've been on both sides. So it's about being mindful and being aware of the person you're with, or the person you're talking with, or the person you're working with. Okay, make sense? So when we play poker, I'm going to start off very simple. I have decks of cards, and in these decks of cards, you're going to split up. We have about